that's not you, nigga. Talking about what you do, nigga. Talking about how you move, nigga. That's not you, nigga. On the game, that ain't true, nigga. Talking about you be shooting, nigga. How you be sliding. On the game, you be lying. Talking about you be riding, nigga. That ain't true, nigga. On the game, that ain't true, nigga. We know that ain't true, nigga. That's not true.
Right hand, H-hand, it's the gangland. Hop out, all orange like a spray tan. Then I seen some brothers with Bibles in their hand telling me how we fall into the devil's game plan. Wait a minute, we really ain't each other's enemies. First it was heroin, then crack and methamphetamine, selling dreams. We was destined for better things. Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob's our pedigree. Slave ships, my nigga, that's where we came in. Grave pits, my nigga, that's where we stay in. Spaceships, swing low is what we praying. Fuck this gang shit, my nigga, that's what we saying. Cops ride by, you niggas ain't doing nothing. Ops ride by, you niggas will get the bus and crack and gentrify. You niggas won't even touch them, get a little money, and your homies you saying fuck them.
That's not you, nigga. Talking about what you do, nigga. Talking about how you move, nigga. That's not you, nigga. On the game, that ain't true, nigga. Talking about you be shooting, nigga. How you be sliding. On the game, you be lying. Talking about you be riding, nigga. That ain't true, nigga. On the game, that ain't true, nigga. We know that ain't true, nigga. That's not true.
All praise to the Most High. Urban Gorilla.
Need a freelancer? Go to Fiverr.com and find one in seconds. Or don't go to Fiverr and waste your time searching for freelancers instead of finally taking that trip abroad. Constantinople? Should be near Prussia. Find your freelancer.
Jay? You're on fire.
All praise to the Most High. Urban Gorilla. Give a fuck if you like it, boy, you gon' respect these scriptures. Lost a debate night, crying, man, these niggas bitches. Ducking fades, we at your door like a freaking witness. Man, I'm like Yawasap, I found my father's business. Give a fuck if you like it, boy, you gon' respect these scriptures. Lost a debate night, crying, man, these niggas bitches. Ducking fades, we at your door like a freaking witness. Man, I'm like Yawasap, I found my father's business. Hop in the ring, you gon' need more than memes, hopes and dreams. These doctrines got you more bugged out than a smoking fiend. You know the Lord made Zachary a ferocious team. We fully loaded carnivores looking for the beef. It's the alpha predator, got you running like senators. Team full of menaces, been the blessed bitch's genesis. Used to be with hella crip selling zips, now it's fellowship. It's the yellow convicted felon that made an exodus. From death to sin, round one, let's begin. The Lord gave me his breath to win, you gon' need the rep to end. This shit real early, you effeminate, real girly. You can say I'm a little whirly, but I stand on the scriptures firmly. Firm as hell, these devils can burn in hell. I really been burned by shells, really used to serve as shell. I know I make you nervous, but the purpose for you to learn was real. Give a fuck if you like it, boy, you gon' respect these scriptures. Lost a debate night, crying, man, these niggas bitches. Ducking fades, we at your door like a freaking witness. Man, I'm like Yawasap, I found my father's business. Give a fuck if you like it, boy, you gon' respect these scriptures. Lost a debate night, crying, man, these niggas bitches. Ducking fades, we at your door like a freaking witness. Man, I'm like Yawasap, I found my father's business. All praise to the Most High. Urban Gorilla.
Hey, you!
Me?
Yeah, you! Don't you want to play?
K-Share Beats.
Fuck what the crackers talking, we frontlining. Way before the quarantine, we see you punks hiding. See us and y'all swerve like you drunk driving. We just want to debate, we don't want violence. Fuck what the crackers talking, we frontlining. Way before the quarantine, we see you punks hiding. See us and y'all swerve like you drunk driving. We just want to debate, we don't want violence. Way before the quarantine, y'all was in the house. We was outside teaching, digging, bring it out. Law, statutes, and commandments, that's what we about. They disrespect the chief up on the keys, trying to list the y'all ain't just hating and jealous. My name is ringing favelas. I came up banging with killers, orangutans, and gorillas. The ignorance of this shit is ridiculous. I'm meticulous, your head spinning just like your stimulus. When we rip them up, they talk fisticuffs and how triggers bust. But they just can't pick the scriptures up. To box with God, you're not big enough. Him, I'm lifting up. His power is within us. His hope is what we prisoners of. We be on the highway, Saturday through Friday. I don't know about Usher, I do it the most highest way. We be on the highway, Saturday through Friday. I don't know about Usher, I do it the most highest way. Fuck what the crackers talking, we frontlining. Way before the quarantine, we see you punks hiding. See us and y'all swerve like you drunk driving. We just want to debate, we don't want violence. Fuck what the crackers talking, we frontlining. Way before the quarantine, we see you punks hiding. See us and y'all swerve like you drunk driving. We just want to debate, we don't want violence.
Look, like a bad barber, I'ma push your front lines. Light some Christians like deli meat when it's lunchtime. Straight gas and precepts in my punchlines. Dance around the scripts like Nick Cannon on drumline. Cut with the word. Shit feel like a hornet sting. I'm done with the Tesla. Now I'm driving in foreign things. The government can never lock me down in the quarantine. I'm in Miami, passing flyers out at the pork and beans. And I don't mess with dudes up and down like the 6th tray. I be on the highway, preach the word where the Crips stay. Hebrew cosmology, man-made on the 5th day. Kind of more with me, shot the video in 6K. I serve you how I don't care what a nigga think. See me on my live show, all I tell them click the link. Then all I hear is straight silence. We just want to debate, we don't want violence.
Fuck what the crackers talking, we frontlining. Way before the quarantine, we see you punks hiding. See us and y'all swerve like you drunk driving. We just want to debate, we don't want violence. Fuck what the crackers talking, we frontlining. Way before the quarantine, we see you punks hiding. See us and y'all swerve like you drunk driving. We just want to debate, we don't want violence.
All right. All right. So my computer took a little bit longer to upload than usual, so forgive me about that. What's going on with you, bro? Might as well read it. Y'all can hear me? You can hear me, bro?
Yeah, con.
Okay, con.
Another day, another dollar, spiritual dollar.
Right. So last time, we watched a little bit of Deacon's video. It was about a particular conversation that he had with an atheist, but today we're just going to continue from where we left off, dealing with, we finished Daniel 8 last time. We still got to finish Daniel 7, Daniel 9, and then Lord willing, we can get to Numbers 24, Zechariah 9, and Ezekiel 28. But I actually also want to go into Ezekiel, the 4th chapter, so hopefully we can get to that. If not, then we'll end up having a part 2.
Part 3.
Oh, part 3, Lord in Christ. Daniel 7, 9, 4, Ezekiel 4. Yes. Numbers 24. These all kind of go together, so we'll do these first. Okay, Con. First and foremost, of course, you know what I'm saying, we got to give call Allah Yahweh Shema Mashiach Yahushua. That's all praises to the Most High God and the name of His only begotten Son, who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ. All right. So, Brother Officer Robbie Yawasap, accompanied by an esteemed colleague of mine, Officer Nachaawam, over the Sakari, Baltimore, Sakari, Philly.
Right.
Damn near the whole Sakari Northeast outside of, New Jersey, New York, who's under Officer Anam. Right. So through the Spirit today, we're going to give you ammo, not only to further validate the scriptures, which, you as a Hebrew Israelite should be able to do regardless, but also how to properly combat an atheist when they say that the scriptures aren't valid or they're not divinely inspired, so to speak. These are prophecies that if they didn't come from a higher being, we would need some type of logical, which is a logical explanation within itself, but we would need some type of antithesis of a logical explanation of where did these things come from? How did they know they were going to happen? And if you want to assert that they were written afterwards, after these particular events happened, you would have to demonstrate how, when, and who wrote them afterwards. Otherwise, it's simply an assertion. It doesn't matter because your opinion is disgusting. And matter of fact,
Right.
let me get that. Sirach, I think it's Sirach 3 and 24, right? Vain opinion.
Yep. Vain opinion.
Can I have you read that for me right quick, Robert Patel?
God's book of Sirach, chapter 3 and 24 says, "For many are deceived by their own vain opinion,
Mm-hmm.
and an evil suspicion hath overthrown their judgment."
See, look at that evil suspicion, right? Because they're so damn curious of evil things, it's overthrown proper judgment, and it's ultimately done by their own vain opinion because they're so worried about what they think and how they feel that it's overthrowing their judgment, right? And you know, typically everybody goes to Psalms 14 and 1 for an atheist and things of that nature, which we are going to read today. However, I want to go into another one that I found a few days ago when I was in Minnesota in the spirit. Let me go back into the word atheist first, right? Oh, Lord in Christ, I always misspell it. So atheist, it means a godless person, one who denies the existence of a supreme intelligent being to whom moral obligation is due, or it means ultimately coming from the Greek word atheos, which is without God, denying the gods, or has been abandoned of the gods. So because they've been cast out, they now reject the gods or God, right? So with that being said, we're gonna read. Can you see my screen still?
Yep.
Okay, we're gonna read from verse 55 to about 61. This is Second Ezra 8.
This is the book of Second Ezra, chapter 8, verse 55. It says, "And therefore ask thou no more questions concerning the multitude of them that perish."
Keep going.
It says, "For when they had taken liberty, they despised the Most High, thought scorn of his law, and forsook his ways."
So the angel is now telling Ezra's like, stop worrying about people that perish, right? Because when they had the chance, they despised them. They scorned his law and they forsook his ways. Keep going.
Moreover, they have trodden down his righteous
Mm-hmm.
and said in their heart that there is no God.
Look at that. There is no God. Exactly what atheists say. These people that say there is no God, it's because they forsook his ways, despise the Most High, and they scorn his law. They don't think that they don't think that there's any morality in the law of God. Go ahead.
Right. And then really these atheists, especially our people, so-called Black, Hispanic, Native, and some Indian atheists, right? They say that there is no God, which really either they know it or not, they view the so-called white man as God.
Right.
Because all of these philosophies are in ideologies that our people are in. Who is the one that came up with these type of ideologies? Esau did, right?
Facts.
Fact that the Big Bang Theory happened, right? Niggas just right morphed from germs or went from apes, monkeys to humans. That's all Edomite ideology. You look up to the so-called white man. He's your God. And you guys don't even know it. Right? But this is 58 again, verse 58. In 2 Ezra 8, it says, "And said in their heart that there is no God. Yea, and that knowing they must die."
Look at that. It says, yea, and that knowing they must die. So they know they got to die because of what they did in forsaking the Lord's way. So now them being an atheist, being abandoned of the Most High, they say, forget it. I know I'm going to die anyways. Right? That's why atheist doesn't really have any type of, they don't have a moral compass. They don't have goals, but they live life not caring almost. Right? Go ahead.
Verse 59. "For as the things aforesaid shall receive you, so thirst and pain are prepared for them. For it was not his will that men should come to naught."
Right. So the angel then tells Ezra, so thirst and pain are prepared for them, meaning destruction. right? We know that they're gonna die.
Right.
And originally dealing with in the garden, you know what I'm saying? Men were supposed to live a long, glorious lives, but now we're dying. Why? Because of things like this. Go ahead.
Khan says, verse 60, but they which be created have defiled the name of him that made them, and were unthankful unto him which prepared life for them.
Look at that. Unthankful. They're supposed to be keeping this raggedy feast known as Thanksgiving, but the Bible says that they're unthankful. You got atheists, they keep Thanksgiving, but the scriptures identify them as an ungrateful people. Okay? Go ahead. Finish verse 61.
Khan. It says, and therefore is my judgment now at hand.
And now that's why the Lord's judgment is at hand. And we see these prophecies coming to be fulfilled, which we're going to go into those that have already been fulfilled, right? And things of that nature to properly validate the scriptures. And more in particularly, something that the guy said when he was talking to Deacon was that the Bible doesn't give timestamps, right? When we went into Daniel 8 last time, those particular things, there were certain verbiages that was said that you can't really force fit anywhere else in history. And then it also gave a timestamp of 2,300 days, right? Which is 6 years, dealing with, I believe, the reign of Antiochus Epiphanes, right? Nachaawam?
Yeah, Khan, dealing with the time when we went without a temple. Well, not actually without a temple, but sacrificing was obsolete at that time because the Greeks went up in there and defiled it.
Right. So that right there alone is a timestamp, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because you don't understand it, don't mean that it's not in the Bible.
Right.
And you know the practical go-to for atheists, Psalms 14:1, Baba Kusha.
Psalms chapter 14:1. It says, the fool have said in his heart, there is no God. They are corrupt. They have done abominable works. There is none that doeth good.
Right. So the fool. So right here it's being said that David's calling them fools, right? That they are corrupt. People that are corrupt do what? Where does it say it at 56? When they have the liberty, they despise the Most High's court and his law and forsake his ways. They're corrupted. They have done abominable works, and there is none that doeth good. There's nothing good that can come out of these people. Why? Because they have no right. There's none that can do good because they have no true morality about them.
Right. They ain't right.
And that even goes back to Sirach 3:24. Why? Because they base their morality on their own opinion. Therefore, it overthrows their judgment. Okay. So Daniel 7. Where the hell did we leave off? We left off with the Greek Empire. And for those of you that are watching, please like, share, subscribe as much as possible. We know that Deacon Akad's live, so we know that there's not going to be too many people. But if you can, make sure that you like, share, subscribe. Oh, look at this guy. Who invited this guy, man? Who invited this guy here?
Yeah, who this guy?
All right. Shalom, King. How you doing?
Good. How you doing?
Good. I'm doing as good as I possibly can in this godforsaken place.
I heard that.
And for those of you who don't know, this is okay. He's an okay soldier, all right, but he's got power, all right, and he enjoys doing the work of the Lord. All praises to Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai.
I'll become a brother in the camp, man.
That's right. All right. The brother's name is Azamawak. All right. All right. Make sure, matter of fact, if you are in here, I can do you a little favor. How about that?
Yeah, I've been listening to y'all before I had logged in.
Do you a little favor. Go figure. Nachaawam Assad's actually the one on there right now.
What happened, bro?
Assad's actually on Deacon's point right now. For those of you that would like to go deeper in the scriptures and actually like reading the Bible. Okay, not you people that are nothing but fans. Okay, you click the link in the chat for the brother's channel, man. All right, chosen people. He goes into not only deep prophecy, but things that don't really get mentioned a lot. You know what I'm saying? Things that are sometimes maybe overlooked, or some things that people might not even have the understanding to share with others on. Right? So make sure that you click the link in the chat for this brother's channel. Hit the subscribe button, and when you subscribe, make sure you hit the bell. If you're not hitting the bell, you're not gonna know when somebody drop a damn video. So make sure that you hit the bell when you subscribe to his YouTube channel. Okay, especially if you really want to be alerted about what's going on. All right. So without any further ado,
The water.
all praises. We're gonna go ahead and continue. We left off Daniel 7:6. Azamoth, just like when you do a Pagayal, if you got something to say, just let us know. And yeah. Whichever one of y'all want to read Daniel 7:6, it don't matter.
Yeah, I got you, bro. Yeah, this is the book of Daniel, chapter 7, verse 6. After this, I beheld, and lo, another like a leopard, which had upon the back of it 4 wings of a fowl. The beast had also 4 heads, and dominion was given to it.
Right, so last time we went over this, we understand that the leopard is dealing with the Greek Empire. However, more specifically, Alexander the Great, or what we like to call him, Alexander the Creep, right? Which had upon the back of it 4 wings, the 4 generals that he split his kingdom up against. Yeah, I always forget these raggedy guys' names.
Cassandra,
right?
Ptolemy, Lacemeus,
and Seleucus.
Right. Who did Seleucus succeed?
Oh, dang! I was just looking over. I think. Oh yeah, Ptolemy, Lacemeus, and Cassandra. They all band together to take down what's the guy? Antigonus, right? And then Lacemeus became one of the main 4. Right? They all had beef with each other. See, the white man likes to talk about black on black crime, right? But white on white crime is really where it's at. That's where it's at.
They'll take down their brother's whole kingdom just for a woman.
I'm telling you, man, these devils is ruthless against each other. That's what people don't know.
Matter of fact, just quick side note, I was watching this. I've been watching this Borgia little show that they did.
Oh yeah, that's good. That's real good.
It's so crazy, bro. The things that's going on here. Man.
Yo, hey, that man Cesare, hey, I give it to him, man. He was a stone cold killer. He was a killer.
Man, you see?
God.
Okay. So we already went over this last time. If you weren't here last time, then I highly advise you to go back and check out part 1. We went deep into the prophecy dealing with the Greek Empire. Now, we didn't really deal so much with the Babylonian and the Persians and Mede Empire due to a particular reason, just to give the atheists the benefit of the doubt. Daniel saying, let's just say, just that we're trying to help them out at this point, right? We'll give you the Babylonian and Persians and Medes because they lived around that time. You cannot say that Daniel went back or Alexander went back and wrote in verse 6 to say that this is my kingdom, and then I gave it to these 4 generals. And then what was also interesting, one of my soldiers brought up last time is that, okay, well, did Darius go back and then also prophesy his own death of how he would die and lose his own kingdom? Of course not, right? But let's keep going. Verse 7.
Yeah, verse 7. After this, I saw in the night visions, and behold, a 4th beast, dreadful and terrible, and strong exceedingly, and it had great iron teeth.
Mm-hmm.
It devoured and brake in pieces, and stamped the residue with the feet of it. And it was diverse from all the beasts that were before it, and it had 10 horns.
So bam, it said it saw in the night visions the 4th beast. dreadful and terrible, strong exceedingly, had iron teeth. Matter of fact, I don't know why I don't have it up. Because Daniel 7 is parallel to Daniel, the second chapter.
Yeah, you have to scroll all the way down
Oh, okay.
to like the 40s. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, yep.
So we know, and this is actually something that the brother was going into last time as well, dealing with the type of metals that the statue was made out of. Fine gold being the most precious, but being the softest, right? Then you have the breast and his arms being silver, still kind of a precious metal, but more strong, right? Then you got his belly and his thighs of brass, not a precious metal at all, but it's stronger than the prior two, than the two that came prior to it. Now you have iron, certainly not a precious metal, but it's stronger than the three that preceded it, right? Demonstrating the kingdom that was to come afterwards was going to be like prophesied in Daniel the 7th chapter, dreadful, terrible, and strong exceeding. Right? Now, real quick, just to interact with the chat, who can tell me? I don't know whose name that is, but who can tell me? Oh, Shamgar already got it. He said Rome. This guy's a cheater, man. Okay. Right. So it's the Roman Empire. Okay. It says it devoured and break in pieces, stamped the residue with the feet of it. Right? So let's go into the word stamp right quick. I believe that has some type of significant meaning if I'm not mistaken. And where in Revelation is this mentioned that? I forgot where. I think it's 13.
What?
Talking about the stamping of the feet.
I'm not too sure.
Okay. But when it says that it's stamped, it's talking about it's trampling and treading upon the other kingdoms, right? So it's basically going forth to conquer, right?
Right, exactly. Just like Alexander the Creep, you had this guy named Julius Caesar.
Mm-hmm.
Julius Caesar, he started going around and conquering the known world at that time, and he did it very swiftly and very easily, right? That's why you had a lot of dark nations that were included in the provinces of Rome, right? Because of how dreadful and how terrible, as Daniel the 7th chapter describes the Roman Empire, they were really dreadful and terrible, right? Why do you think the so-called white man is known as the Romans today? Because they took over the original inhabitants of Rome, which were from the Japhetic line, right? The Etruscans. I know we all heard of them, the Etruscans. If not, look them up. They were originally dark-skinned men and women, and they were from the line of Japhet. But Esau took them over, and it was really starting with the guy. What did I say? Julius Caesar. Right. Julius Caesar was going around and conquering everybody, right?
And real quick, who can, because it said it's diverse from all the other beasts, right? What was one main diversity that Rome had out of all the other kingdoms? And I'll give you a hint, it's something America also has as well.
Right.
And if I'm not mistaken, it started in Greece. Who knows the main diversity that Rome had from all the other kingdoms that America also shares with it? A Senate, right? A different type of government in the fact that, not a military. They all had militaries. God, it's the fact that they had a Senate, right? The fact that they were able to vote, so to speak, the leader that they wanted, and the fact that they had Caesars. It wasn't necessarily a monarchy, so to speak, anymore, right?
Right, exactly. Which the word Senate actually goes back to the Latin word Senatus. And what language was the Roman Empire speaking? They were speaking Latin, right? So that just further validated, right? And like Rob said, their how their government was set up was different from the rest of the kings or the kingdoms, because normally if one man dies, the son automatically just come up into power, but they did stuff very differently.
I got
Fact.
precept on that if you want.
And real quick though, yeah, what was I just about to say? You had said something. Oh,
Oh.
Latin, right? There, another thing that's why we're able to call America something like Rome 2.0. Their whole entire government, their medical field, their original books. If you go to college, you have to learn the Latin terms of particular phrases that they have, because it all goes back to the Roman Empire. What was the precept you had, King?
Yes, First Maccabees chapter 8, starting at verse 15.
All right, one second.
Got
First,
In the midst, you had different ethnic people living in the Grecian Empire and different empires too.
so this is the book of First Maccabees, chapter 8, verse 15. It says, moreover, how they had made for themselves a Senate house, wherein Slaki, go ahead.
No, I was just saying, there you have it right there.
Right, which is why I said it started. That's why it's also sometimes referred to as the Roman Greco Empire, right? Because a lot of the provinces that they started in wasn't the Grecian Empire, right? So moreover, it says how they had made for themselves a Senate house, wherein 320 men sat in council daily, consulting always for the people, to the end that they might be well ordered. I'm gonna get down. I'm gonna jump down to verse 18 and 19. It says, and to entreat them that they would take the yoke from them, for they saw that the kingdom of the Grecians did oppress Israel with servitude. They went therefore to Rome, which was a very great journey, and came into the Senate, where they spake and said. So dealing with the fact that the Romans preceded the Grecians, right? So going back to Daniel 7.
Verse 16, and it was talking about how they elected presidents.
Is that okay? Khan, we'll read verse 16 then. Salakia. It says, and that they committed their government to one man every year, who ruled over all their country, and that all were obedient to that one, and that there was neither envy nor emulation among them, which we know that's a damn lie.
Which is so crazy, goes back to what I said earlier, because it said elected a man every single year, but normally in other kingdoms, right, your rulership ended until you died. That was it.
Facts. And like I said, also their son would be risen back up into power. There was no, oh, we're gonna vote for the next guy or anything like that.
Right.
And then Bam said it had 10 horns, dealing with major provinces that the Roman era ruled over, and then also kingdoms that came out of it.
Right. Which they're back when it's seen today as the revised Roman Empire, which revised just means new, right? Combination of the NATO and the EU today.
I got a precept on that if you want it.
What you got, King?
2nd Ezra 12 and 18.
Okay, 1 second. Oh, this guy, you know about the feathers, bro?
God, a little bit.
Okay.
And man, this brother full of precepts.
All right. For those of you that don't know about 2nd Ezra 11 and 12, I highly advise you go look it up. Deacon got a brief breakdown dealing with the 12 feathers, the contrary feathers, etc., going into the fall of the 12 Caesars and then the rise of the Byzantine Empire as well.
So
I'll read it for you. You can break it down.
God.
This is the book of 2nd Ezra, chapter 12, verse 18. That after the time of that kingdom, there shall arise great striving, and it shall stand in peril of failing. Nevertheless, it shall not then fall, but shall be restored again to his beginning.
Now, who is that talking about? That's talking about none other than the Roman Empire, because that's Brother Nachaawam was talking about how basically America just revised Roman Empire, meaning like rebirth or made into a more grandiose, right? Because Rome never fell. It just it suffered a major blow, but it basically revived itself. You know what I'm saying? Basically during
it's called the deadly wound that was healed.
God, yeah, you had broke up on the last end. What'd you say?
Oh, deadly wound that was healed. Revelation 13. It is.
God, yep, and that's it.
There we go. Revelation 13 and 3. It says, and I saw one of his heads as it were wounded to death. And
Right.
deadly wound was healed.
Right. And that head, right, that came back was the revised Roman Empire, starting with who? Europe, right? Because first of all, how did they even come about? The EU, they signed a treaty, right, in 1953, and you could go ahead and look that up for your own selves, 1953, and it was called the Treaty of Rome. Now, why would they sign a treaty called the Treaty of Rome? Because they are the Roman Empire coming back, established again. Simple.
Okay, so real quick, we got the 7. Okay, bam, verse 8.
All right.
So verse 7, Daniel 7 and 7 is dealing with the Roman Empire, right? Which, man, do I really want to? Matter of fact, yeah, let's go into Daniel 9, right, real quick, because I don't want to go into America and then have to backtrack. Okay, so bam, Daniel 9, right? It provides at the end a brief prophecy dealing with what's known as the 70 weeks prophecy. Why is it so important? Because it goes into the time frame of the Roman era and our expulsion or the Southern Kingdom being driven out of Jerusalem. Okay, so the reason why, I'm saying, we stop in here is to go to and fro all the prophecies dealing with particular kingdoms and when time frames are given. Okay, so really quick, matter of fact, put a 1 in the chat if you're familiar with the 70 weeks prophecy. Put a 1 in the chat if you're familiar with the 70 weeks prophecy. And then it said, what do you mean, what about the Babylonian Empire? But if you're talking about the ethnic people living in their kingdom, the Babylonian Empire was, if I'm not mistaken, probably just as much as a melting pot as America is.
Well, Israel was living in their empire, so there we go. Right. So see, the thing about when different empires rises up into power, right? This is something that brothers and sisters need to understand. What they do is all they do is expand their empire. They expand it. So if they expand their empire, then other ethnicities is going to be engulfed within that empire. Right. Same thing with what America has done. America expanded the empire. America is goddamn everywhere. Habakkuk, the 2nd chapter, says they can't stay at home. Right. That's them expanding their empire, whether it's indirectly or directly.
Thanks. And I mean, when you conquer somebody, that now becomes a part of your kingdom. Therefore, that ethnic group that you conquered is part of your kingdom. Nonetheless, so a few people have heard about the 70 weeks. Josh said he's never went into it, so it's in the spirit, right? Daniel 9 and 24. Whoever wants to read
it. With Shalaki, you got scholars like Tacticus. He attests to what Daniel the 9th chapter is about to say. Tacticus is a scholar, right? A scholar who actually an unbiased scholar. I need to add that in, an unbiased scholar. I don't think he was a Christian. That's why I said unbiased. he attests to the living, death, burial, and resurrection of our Lord and Savior Yawasap, who the world calls Jesus Christ. All right, but go ahead, brother.
Okay. Yeah, this is the book of Daniel, chapter 9, starting verse 24. Says 70 weeks are determined upon thy people and upon thy holy city to finish the transgression and to make an end of sins and to make reconciliation for iniquity and to bring in everlasting righteousness and to seal up the vision and prophecy and to anoint the most holy.
So the whole point of these 70 weeks, right, is going to be based upon the people, which is Israel, the holy city, Jerusalem, the finishing of the transgression and making end of sins being a sacrifice, making reconciliation through that sacrifice, bringing in everlasting righteousness or life, whichever you want to say, and to seal up the vision and prophecy, to anoint the most holy, or in other words, a Messiah or an anointed one, however you want, you know what I'm saying, however you want to put it. That's what these 70 weeks are going to encompass. So verse 24 gives you a preface, so to speak, or an interlude to the next three verses, meaning it summarizes the next three verses. The next three verses is a breakdown of verse 24, right? So go ahead.
Yeah, verse 25 says, know therefore and understand that from the going forth of the commandment to restore and to build Jerusalem unto the Messiah, the Prince, shall be 7 weeks and
So,
3 score.
Salaki. So, well, no, finish this out too. My bad.
Okay. It says, the Messiah. Let me just start for it. Know therefore and understand that from the going forth of the commandment to restore and to build Jerusalem unto the Messiah, the Prince, shall be 7 weeks and 62 weeks.
Right. So right here it says, know therefore and understand, letting you know it's about to break it down real quick, right? So who can tell me when the going forth of the commandment to restore and build Jerusalem was? Who can tell me? Give me a slight time frame, or even a king that was ruling around that time, a kingdom, right? Whatever you can think of. When was it that we were commanded to restore and build Jerusalem? Right? And how do you spell that scholar's name, Nachaawam? Somebody's asking in the chat.
Tacitus.
Okay, come on, he got it right there. Right. Who can tell me when did we get the kingdom or the commandment to rebuild Jerusalem? It never said no. It was not Babylon. Sayad says Nehemiah 2 and 5.
Well, what time period was Nehemiah, brother?
Yeah, you being a Sakari soldier, we need a little bit more specific responses from you, sir. Because Nehemiah 2 and 5 does not give the king's name. Yeah, one might. Feed the spirit. No, definitely not Nebuchadnezzar. Nebuchadnezzar destroyed our temple and Jerusalem. He was the reason we had to rebuild it. But nah, say y'all got it. It was Artaxerxes, right? So, let me see. And I said, okay, Con. So read verse 1 and verse 5.
Con, yeah, this book of Nehemiah. Oh, you was about to read it?
Yeah, Con.
Okay, Con.
All right, but Nehemiah 2 and 1 says, and it came to pass in the month Nisan, in the 20th year of Artaxerxes the king, that wine was before him, and I took up the wine and gave it unto the king. Now I had not been before time sad in his presence. Wherefore the king said unto me, Why is thy countenance sad, seeing thou art not sick? This is nothing else but sorrow of heart. Then I was very sore afraid. Verse 3. And said unto the king, let the king live forever. Why should not my countenance be sad? When the city, the place of my father's sepulchres, lieth waste, and the gates thereof are consumed with fire, which is Jeremiah 14:2 right there.
That's right.
If nobody knows, right? Verse 4. Then the king said unto me, for what dost thou make requests? So I prayed to the God of heaven. And I said unto the king, if it please the king, and if thy servant have found favor in thy sight, that thou wouldest send me unto Judah, unto the city of my father's sepulchres, that I may rebuild it.
So right here is a key point. It says, send me unto the city that I may build it. So one brother in the chat says Cyrus. The reason why it wouldn't be Cyrus is because Cyrus gave the commandment to build the house of the Lord, which was Ezra 4. Oh no, that probably was Ezekiel 4. Oops. Right? Read just read Ezra 4:1.
Ezra 4:1.
Yeah, read Ezra 4 verse 1 and then just jump to verse 3.
Now when the adversaries of Judah and Benjamin heard that the children of the captivity builded the temple unto the Lord God of Israel, right? You should have jumped down to verse 3.
Yes, sir.
But Zerubbabel and Jeshua and the rest of the chief of the fathers of Israel said unto them, ye have nothing to do with us to build an house unto our power, but we ourselves together will build unto Yahweh power of Israel, as King Cyrus the king of Persia hath commanded us.
Right. So Cyrus gave the commandment to rebuild the temple. Artaxerxes gave the commandment to rebuild the city. When we go back to Daniel 9, it says to restore and build Jerusalem, dealing with the city. So this is where the 70 weeks would start. And if I'm not mistaken, it's about 435 BC circa, right around there, 435, 450, right? It says, until the Messiah Prince shall be weeks, or 7 weeks. Who knows how many years each week represents? How long is each week? Man, yeah, I ain't gonna lie, this chat be so hell sometimes. Need y'all with the quick responses, man. I know it's only damn 10 people, but y'all, the 10 people that's in here, y'all should know the answers to these damn questions. That's for sure. All crazy. That's right. Look, say y'all knows the answers because you know he's in Sakari, man. Okay.
That's right.
Hey man, the book of Acts talked about two churches, the church of Berea, right, and the church of Thessalonica, man. I'm saying,
Bring it out.
Studious churches.
Right, so 7 weeks, right? So if each week is 7 years, 7 times 7, or 7 times 7 is 49. It says, and 80 in 2 weeks. Right, so I don't know if y'all can, I'm gonna show my whole screen so that y'all can let's do the math together, guys. Let's do the math together. We can do this. Okay. And if my math is off, mathematician Nachaawam will have no problem correcting me. So first we're gonna do 7 times 7, right? That's 49. Then 80 in 2 weeks. For those that don't know, in Old English, score means 20. So it would be 3 times 20, which would be 60 plus 2. 62 weeks, right? So we understand the 49. Then we'll take the 62 weeks, right?
Right.
Times 7, because 7 years per week. That's 434. Then we add the 49. We get 483.
Mhm.
About 483 to, about 483 years from the time that we got the commandment to rebuild Jerusalem, right, would encompass the rebuilding of Jerusalem and the coming of the Messiah.
Right.
Okay? So read verse 25 again, Azamawar.
God, this is Daniel chapter 9 and 25 says, know therefore and understand that from the going forth of the commandment to restore and to build Jerusalem unto the Messiah the Prince shall be 7 weeks and 62 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
The street shall be built again, and the wall, even in troublous times.
And it says, even in troublous times. Why? Because literally in Nehemiah, it's recorded that while we were building the wall, we had, matter of fact, who knows that in Nehemiah where we had to have the sword on our side?
Yeah, I got it right here.
What is it?
Nehemiah 4 and 17.
Okay, come on. Go ahead, read the 18.
All right, God. Here's the book of Nehemiah, chapter 4 and 17. It says, they which build it on the wall, and they that bear burdens, with those that laid it, every one with one of his hands wrought in the work, and with the other hand held a weapon.
Mm-hmm.
For the builders, every one had his sword girded by his side, and so built it. And he that sounded the trumpet was by me.
So they were building with their sword by them. We were still in captivity. We were still being people trying to come up against us while we're rebuilding our city, right? So now, again, obviously, Daniel lived in a particular time frame or under the Persians and Medes, right? So that's cool. Let's just give him that part. How did he know when Yahawashai was going to come? How did he know that 483 years from the time that Artaxerxes gave us the commandment to rebuild the city, that a Messiah was going to come? Right? You can't just give him that because he didn't know. He was simply given a message.
Mhm.
Right? Let's keep going to verse 26.
Yeah, verse 26 says, and after 62 weeks shall Messiah be cut off, but not for himself.
Right, so that's how we know that it's the 483 years encompasses the rebuilding of the city and the ministry of the Messiah. Because after that 483 years, that's when he's going to die. But not for himself only, right? Because that's the same thing that what's his name prophesied in John 11, Caiaphas, right? That he should die not for this people only, but for the whole nation, that we perish not, roughly paraphrased. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, it says, let me just start from the top.
Khan.
Daniel 9 and 26, and after 62 weeks shall Messiah be cut off, but not for himself, and the people of the prince that shall come destroy the city and the sanctuary, and the end thereof shall be with the flood. And unto the end of the war, desolations are determined.
Now, this is what's interesting, right? Because at first, when I read this, I was like, this doesn't make sense because I thought that all 70 weeks were consecutive amongst each other. But we have to read this very carefully. It says that after these 483 years, right, when the Messiah is cut off, it says, and the people of the prince that shall come. Meaning this is going to happen after. This last week is not consecutive upon the first 69 weeks. It's not, right? So really quick, who can tell me the prince that came in this guy's? I got to block this guy from my channel. I don't know who the hell this is, who he thinks he is. I'm not. No, I don't want it. There you go. Okay, Con. So who can? Oh, wait a minute. Yeah, why does Sayar not have a wrench? I knew Sayar really wrench. Who can tell me who the prince of the people are? Who can tell me who that is? And I swear, if you say Yawasap, might be there. I can't. You know what's crazy is I bet you I can go to his YouTube channel right now and he has no breakdown.
Who?
The Jesus the Jesus Christ guy that's always in my chat talking about false prophets.
Oh, bro, Christianity is over, bro.
Yep.
They've been finished. Okay, so Sayad, you got the historical reference, but who? Let's read it again before we were rudely interrupted by a devil. Right? It says, "And the people of the prince." Who is this prince? Who is this prince? Who can tell me who this prince is? That's what I want to know right now. Who do Osmo? You doing laundry, bro?
Yeah, my bad. You can hear that? Here, let me mute that. Let me mute it.
I ain't tripping. Who can tell me who the prince is? That's what I want to know. Who is the prince?
This is so crazy, bro. Cause this atheist who says the Bible isn't true, right? Well, I just looked up something on the web, right? And to celebrate this defeat that Titus and Vespasian had over us, the Israelites, they built something called the Ark of Titus, right? And within the Ark of Titus, right, is a drawing of them taking spoils out of our temple. That's what the Romans painted inside of their ark. So now I guess they had schizophrenia or something. They just doing that, you know. That just further validates that this is true because the Romans even have it in their records that they did this to us.
Which, matter of fact, since nobody was able to get it, Sayar said, he said the name actually. It's Titus Vespasian. That's who the prince is right here, right? So the people of the prince that shall come shall destroy the city and the sanctuary. There was only 2 times that our temple was besieged and destroyed. It was the Babylonians and the Romans.
Right.
How the hell did Daniel know that this guy was going to destroy the city and the sanctuary? Right? And be able to line it up with a time frame from the time of Artaxerxes. But the Bible doesn't have dates. But it's because you can't read it because you don't got the spirit. Right? But what's crazy about it is, because the brother brought up the Ark of Titus, so I just looked it up real quick, right? It says the Ark contains panels depicting the triumphal procession celebrated in 71 AD. Right? What was 71 AD? Watch this. They say Roman Jewish wars, but I say Jew because there's no such thing as somebody who's Jewish, my perspective. So it says, I'm gonna read right here. Or matter of fact, I'm gonna read. We can read this whole thing. So whoever wants to read, just read the highlighted area.
You on mute, bro.
It's a lot. It says.
Oh, I thought you said I'm on mute. So go ahead. Just the highlighted area.
All right. It says the Jewish-Roman wars were a series of large-scale revolts by the Jews of the Eastern Mediterranean against the Roman Empire between 66 and 135 CE.
Now, what's crazy is because the last major Man, I don't know this word that we were that the Southern Kingdom was basically driven out was between 135 to 140. Right, there were still small remnants of the Southern Kingdom there, but the first major one was going to give you the time frame 66 to 73. But when we were when the Southern Kingdom was all basically kicked out, it was about 135 140 circa. Go ahead.
That's right, because you had certain zealots, right? Famous one, as you know, is the name of our camp, Sakari.
That's right.
And you had certain zealots, which, by the way, the Sakari believed in the Lord, right? You had remnants of Jews still within Israel. So really 70 AD was just when they, destroyed Jerusalem and all that, but we were still in there, and then the wars were fought at an earlier time too. That was just like the epic center, like the epic date.
Right. Which matter of fact, that's a great point, because as far as it being epic, it's the fact that our city and sanctuary, that's when that got destroyed. So it's almost as if that's what the prophecy is dealing with, is epic or more prominent historical event.
Right.
Right. Because obviously there's always going to be revolts and things of that nature, but even in the Greek and even in the Grecian era, right? But the one that's most remembered is the Maccabees, the ones with Judas Maccabeus, where we were winning, right? And dealing with 70 AD is when our city and sanctuary got destroyed. Okay.
Right. So let me get a quick preset real quick.
Con, what you got?
I have one too.
What you say?
I have one too.
Okay, Con. Y'all had Matthew chapter 24, verses 1 and 2, and then skipping down to verse 15.
The abomination of desolation.
Con.
We'll save yours. What you got, Nachaawam?
Zechariah 14.
Oh damn! Y'all are killing me. Y'all jumping me up, man.
Listen, bro, we got to get all the lamb off the bone, man.
What you want to read? Zechariah 14, verse 4,
verse 1. Starting verse 1. Because verse 1.
Save Zechariah 14 for when I go to Ezekiel 4.
Okay, kind.
All right. And then Matthew 24, save that for the end of the 70 weeks.
God.
Coming with them heavy hitters, man.
Yeah. And what's crazy is, you know what I'm saying, we trying to help y'all out ultimately. Okay. In the spirit. So keep going from right here where you left off last time.
Okay. God. All right, it says, while the first Jewish-Roman war between 66 and 73 CE and the Bar Kokhba revolt between 132 and 136 CE were nationalist rebellions striving to restore an independent Judean state. The Kitos Wars was more of an ethno-religious conflict, mostly fought outside Judea province. Hence, some sources use the term Jewish-Roman wars to refer only to the first Jewish-Roman war between 66 and 73 CE and the Bar Kokhba revolt 132-135 CE, while others include the Kitos Wars 115 through 117 CE as one of the Jewish-Roman wars.
I ain't gonna lie, I gotta look into the Kitos War because that's interesting, the fact that it's dealing with ethno-religious conflict. But anyways, notice that the only one that's 7 years is 66 to 73. Everything else is 4 years, 3 years, 2 years, right? And notice that going back to Daniel 9, there's only 1 week left. That 1 week is 7 years, right? So read verse 26 again from the top.
Yeah, Daniel 9 and 26. It says, and after 3 score in 2 weeks shall Messiah be cut off, but not for himself, and the people of the prince that shall come destroy the city and the sanctuary. and the end thereof shall be with the flood, and unto the end of the war desolations are determined.
It says, and unto the end of the war, desolations are determined, dealing with what? The abomination of desolation, which we're gonna go into in Matthew the 24th chapter. But so Ben, the last week, the last 7-year period would be when our city and sanctuary is destroyed, right? Keep going.
Verse 27, and he shall confirm the covenant with many for 1 week.
There you go. 1 week, 7 years. Go ahead.
And in the midst of the week, he shall cause the sacrifice and the oblation to cease.
Wait. But in the midst of the week, he's going to cause the sacrifice and oblation to cease. Why? Because he's going to destroy the city and the sanctuary. Go figure. What is the midst of 66 to 73? 70, 71. When was it that we were destroyed? Wow, they even got it in artifacts. 71. But there's no timestamps in the Bible though. Right, Mr. Atheist? Okay. Okay, Con, so pick up from right here.
Says, and for the overspreading of abominations, he shall make it desolate, even until the consummation, and that determined shall be poured upon the desolate.
Right, so he destroyed our city, right? And for the overspreading of abominations, he shall make it desolate. People being the Israelites being scourged and ran out of their place, right? And that determined shall be poured upon the desolate, basically called, which we about to read in Matthew the 24th chapter, right? Basically destroying the whole area. Now, before we continue, who knows what the abomination of desolation was that was committed in 70 AD? Who knows what happened in that era? It was nothing similar to what the Grecians did, but was still absolutely atrocious that it even happened. This guy is disgusting, though. I forgot even that happened. The destruction of the temple? No. And since Sayad's the only person that's really communicating, read this.
Yeah, it says, after the fall of the temple, Titus entered the Holy of Holies.
Hold on. Now, if you're not even a son of Aaron, a regular Israelite, let alone, cannot do this. So imagine a goddamn white boy entering the Holy of Holies. That alone in itself is an abomination.
Yep.
Okay, go ahead.
This makes me mad. After the fall of the temple, Titus entered the Holy of Holies. His drawn sword in his hand slashed the parakeet.
Now, hold on. For those that don't know what a parakeet is, all right, because I don't even know what the hell that is. Based on identification, which separated the holy section. Oh, okay. So basically, like a curtain, so to speak.
Oh, the veil.
Yeah, curtain or screen. Okay, come. So he cuts that down, right? Go ahead.
Yeah, it says slash the parakeet and spreading out a scroll of the law on the top of the altar.
So he takes the holy law, puts it on the altar. Go ahead.
Whew. Bro. And y'all still want to say these people had intercourse?
I was just about to say that. And you have Hebrew Israelites that are self-proclaimed in the truth, want to save the goddamn white man. Are you kidding me?
This is why the Bible says that Esau is the profane, meaning he's supposed to be outside the temple, because that's profaneness. But this motherfucker coming in, excuse my language, but he coming in the temple, man. Like, come on, bro. All right. It says, had intercourse with 2 harlots he had brought in.
So not only is he in the Holy of Holies,
man,
he takes our law. Matter of fact, no, he takes the Most High God's law, puts it on the altar, and honestly, obviously, sacrificing pigs on the altar is abominable. We know this. But he was trying to do the most disrespectful thing possible. So he takes the law and has sex with 2 whores on it. On the altar. Go ahead.
Says Titus attributed the blood stains on his sword to his having slain the Almighty.
And him doing what he did before was not even far enough. He said, now I've killed God.
Wow.
I got precept.
So like, hold on. So really quick. So like the brother said, if you are a Hebrew Israelite that wants to save any Edomite, you get ready to die with them. Okay? How about that? You just get ready to die because that's what you're worthy of. If you want to save any of them, that means that you are that, especially the ones that say, okay, well, he can repent. If you think that Titus can repent from this, you're retarded. I'm just gonna say that because you're lucky YouTube has particular guidelines and I can't say certain things. You're retarded. Okay? Yes, Sayad. He had a threesome. He had a menage a trois on the Lord's altar because the white man is the devil that the Bible speaks of. It's that simple.
Listen, bro. As being a Levite, I am hot right now. I didn't even know that. I didn't even know that. As being a priest, I am hot right now.
Yep. And gonna sacrifice his ass in Basra.
The Lord has prepared a sacrifice in Basra.
Yep.
You see, and that's why that's probably one of the many reasons Yahushua is going to take a certain group of them, bring them to their land, and slay them himself. He's like, nah, I gotta do this by myself because these guys have passed the line. Okay. What was the precept that you wanted to bring out? Is it contingent upon Matthew 24?
Oh, no, not just basically upon this wicked doer, like how he was going to enter into the temple of God.
Is it in the Apocrypha?
Nah, it's 2 Thessalonians 2.
Okay, I got you.
Got
The man of perdition.
Right.
Starting at verse 3. It says,
I got you.
Okay, got it.
This is the book of 2 Thessalonians chapter 2, verse 3. It says, let no man deceive you by any means. For that day shall not come, except there come a falling away first.
Yeah, that's talking about when we was falling away from our heritage, right? Discontinued from our heritage.
And that man of sin.
That man of sin it's pinpoint a particular man. When we understand that man to be reincarnated from Cain, now he's reincarnated into Esau, into the Edomites. Go ahead.
Right.
And that man of sin be revealed, the son of perdition. He's
got to be revealed. That son of perdition just means son of destruction, and that's exactly what Esau is. Everything he does, everything he touches, is destroyed. Which ultimately he's going to be destroyed from the Most High.
That's right.
Matter of fact, let me read this in the NLT for you. Watch this.
Right.
It says, "Don't be fooled by what they say, for that day will not come until there is a great rebellion against God." That's right. A great rebellion against God. Look at that, Lord and Christ. It says, "And the man of lawlessness is revealed, the one who brings destruction."
Is that not him? Are we not reading about him right now? You know, and people, you know what I'm saying? They say that Paul was fighting for these actual Gentiles, these Edomites, man. You know, but Paul's calling them out. He's telling you he's going to be revealed. And how's it being revealed? By the mouth of the prophets.
That's right. And matter of fact, I would go to say that depending on the translation and the way that you use it, it can be contingent upon Matthew 24 because he says that man, right? You can perceive that to be the abomination of desolation mentioned in Matthew the 24th chapter. He said a man of lawlessness. What is more lawless than disrespecting the Most High God to this caliber? What's more lawless than that? Right? Of course, the white man, he tries to find out new lawless things he can do all the time. Right?
Verse 4 had some more heat in it if you wanted to grab it.
Okay, come on. Oh, yeah. Oh, facts. Verse 4, who opposes and exalts himself above all that is called God. Look, there's got to be him. He's the Almighty.
Yep.
There's got to be this guy, this damn devil, right? It says, or that is worshipped, so that he as God sitteth in the temple of God, showing himself that he is God.
Come on, man. Google just broke it down for you who that is.
Oh, and the menorah depicted used as the emblem. There's got to be something in here, bro. I got to look more into this ark because that would be crazy as hell.
Hell yeah, through the spirit, man. I just cause I remember a certain elder, right, who's deacon's elder Tahar, right. I heard him.
Apostle Tahar.
All right, that's right, Apostle Tahar. He says something about a shrine that the Romans had built after they defeated us. So that's what I just typed. I just said Rome. I just said the shrine of Titus, and that's what popped up. So yeah, it's definitely some good stuff in there that we probably can get out of. The point of all this, of me bringing it out, if they didn't defeat us, they wouldn't have built that shrine. They wouldn't have built that.
Right.
So that's the whole point of proving how the Israelites are indeed true. The Israelites existed, and we're still here. That's the whole point of me bringing that out, because they like to say, well, the Israelites could have never existed, right, or things of that nature. So why did they build that shrine then? They built that shrine because they defeated us. That was the whole point. So this Bible has to be real.
Big facts. So the brother, you want to bring out Matthew 24? I'm gonna read it for you. You said what is it about desolation?
And then verse what is it? 15.
And this is gonna prelude right into Ezekiel 4 and Zechariah 14. So it's perfect. So bam. This is the book of Matthew, chapter 24, verse 1. It says, and Yahushua went out and departed from the temple, and his disciples came to him to show him the buildings of the temple. Verse 2. And Yahushua said unto them, see ye not all these things? Verily I say unto you. And Yahushua said unto them, see ye not all these things? Verily I say unto you, there shall not be left here one stone upon another.
So people who want to say that Yahushua wasn't a prophet, he was giving you one of the greatest prophecies that was going to happen to Israel, man. He was looking back at the temple, telling his disciples, listen, this thing's about to be destroyed. And ultimately, he was speaking, of course, that physical temple, but also the spiritual temple as well, the Israelites, because guess what? We were destroyed as well. You know what I'm saying? We were scattered into distant lands. You read Ecclesiastes 3, it talks about how there's a time to gather stones and there's a time to scatter stones. Israelites were scattered, and also the stones of our temples were scattered at that time.
It says that shall not be thrown down, which also goes back into Daniel 9. At the end of it, verse 27, and that the determined shall be poured upon the desolate, making Jerusalem desolate, man. All right, so jumping down to verse 15. It says, when you therefore shall see the abomination of desolation, spoken of by Daniel the prophet, stand in the holy place. Daniel didn't say all that. That's what would happen. Yahweh specified there's a difference between the abomination of desolation that happened with the Greek Empire versus the one that happened with the Roman Empire. Yahweh specified it himself. He said, look, he's going to stand in the holy place. So it says, whoso readeth, let him understand. We know these atheists don't read. That's why they don't understand. Very right? Verse 16. Then let them which be in Judea flee into the mountains. Verse 17. Let him which is on the housetop not come down to take anything out of his house. Neither let him which is in the field return back to it to take his clothes. And woe unto them that are with child, and to them that give suck in those days.
Yeah, that's it on that.
Okay,
because they was eating their kids at that time, and curses were poured out in abundance.
Okay, come. So right here, right? Then let them which be in Judea flee into the mountains, right? Going into when the southern kingdom fled into Africa or West Africa. Is Luke 21?
Yeah, 24. Luke 21:24.
Then and then Revelation, the 12th chapter.
You
want me to read that for you?
Yeah, read 20 to 24, and then we gotta I'm gonna use these to segue into Zechariah 14 and Ezekiel 4.
God. As Luke chapter 21, verse 20, it says, and when you shall see Jerusalem compassed with armies, then know that the desolation thereof is not. Then let them which are in Judea flee to the mountains, and let them which are in the midst of it depart out, and let not them that are in the countries enter thereinto. For these be the days of vengeance, that all things which are written may be fulfilled. But woe unto them that are with child, and to them that give suck in those days. For there shall be great distress in the land, and wrath upon this people. Verse 24, and they shall fall by the edge of the sword, and shall be led away captive into all nations. And Jerusalem shall be trodden down of the Gentiles until the time of the Gentiles be fulfilled.
Now, some people break this last part down. I used to be one of them. Break this last part down extremely incorrect. This is not talking about the Gentiles being reconciled unto Yahweh. This is talking about the Gentiles, actual heathens, receiving their judgment. Okay, until the times of the Gentiles be fulfilled. Why? Because they're trotting down Jerusalem. Okay, this whole thing is contingent or parallel with Matthew the 24th chapter and Revelation 12 of us fleeing into what or Southern Kingdom rather fleeing into West Africa. Okay, which we're also going to get in. Matter of fact, doesn't Micah 5 also talk about that?
I believe so. Let me check real quick.
Yeah, we're going to get Micah 5 after Zechariah 14 as well. I think it's, let me see what it says. Oh, it might say William. Oh, no, it might be Micah 4. I'm tripping. Yeah, I got it. Micah 4. Yeah, right here, Micah 4 and 10. And we're going to use Zechariah 14.
It says, be in pain and labor to bring forth, O daughter of Zion, like a woman in travail, for now shalt thou go forth out of the city, and thou shalt dwell in the field, and thou shalt go even to Babylon. There shalt thou be delivered. There the Yahweh shall redeem thee from the hand of thine enemies.
Right. So if we fled into West Africa, right? How is it that Mystery Babylon is the historical Babylon? At that point, that means that we go to West Africa and then we got to go back again towards Israel. Why the hell would we go back towards Israel when that's where we're fleeing from? Right? So this is clearly talking about Mystery Babylon and the fact that we would be delivered out of there. Why? Because it coincides with Jeremiah 50 and 33 and Jeremiah 3 and 18 that both kingdoms would be reconciled and be saved together. Okay? And then, what you would call it? Asimov, you can read Zechariah 14, 1 and 2, and then Nachaawam. You can go ahead and break it down for him.
Yeah, Con. So Zechariah the 14th chapter, only verses 1 and 2, right? That is dealing with what we were talking about earlier. 70 AD and 73 AD. Right. So go ahead, bro.
Yeah, this book of Zechariah, chapter 14 and 1. Behold, the day of Yahweh cometh, and thy spoil shall be divided in the midst of thee.
You're right. It says our spoils will be taken by force. And of course, who was it taken by force? By right, Titus and Vespasian, right? Go ahead. This is talking about 70 AD right here. Go ahead.
It says, for I will gather all nations against Jerusalem to battle.
Now, one may say, wait, how is this talking about all nations? Because just like how the American army is, the Roman Empire army was comprised of different nations, right? Because if you're under the rule of a certain nation, you'll be forced to fight for them, right? And guess what? You had our people. Our people were actually in there as well. Go ahead.
It says, for I will gather all nations against Jerusalem to battle, and the city shall be taken.
Yeah, and the city shall be taken. Was not our city taken? Our city was taken by the Romans. Go ahead.
And the houses rifled.
Hey, you know what? And that's why the Lord said, listen, if you on the housetop, stay on there. You know? Go ahead.
It says, and the women ravished.
Go ahead.
And half of the city shall go forth into captivity.
Boom. It says half of the city shall go forth into captivity. Why is that? Because not all Israelites in the year of 70 AD was fully banned from Israel, right? It wasn't until 73 AD till all of us were fully banned. Go ahead.
And the residue of the people shall not be cut off from the city.
Exactly. Why? Because we had a remnant of Israelites that was still in the land. So that says on the next Zechariah 14, 1 and 2. That's dealing with 70 to 73 AD, right?
That was it.
Which really started, I think 66. I think we were at 66 to 73 AD.
I wonder if that half is really a half.
Yeah, I was just thinking that.
Yeah, when we read the NOT says half the population.
Katazaya, half, middle.
Ooh. Hey, bro.
Matter of fact, let's not go with what's that? Ezekiel, the 5th chapter.
That's why I was looking. That's
Come.
We ain't gonna get we gonna leave it for the real prophets.
God, that's right.
Oh my God. I don't think they could handle that today.
Yeah, come.
Lord in Christ.
Hey, like Paul says, man, we have to feed y'all milk.
Yeah, you're prophesying part, okay? Because let me tell you, bro, that look. I never looked into that, and it was like, you know what? Let me just take a quick sneak peek. You know what I'm saying? That's how the Holy Spirit deals with people.
That's right.
You don't plan on doing any of that. That's why a lot of the times, like with the lessons, I don't like to plan nothing because, bro, I got all these tabs open up here. I planned on Daniel 7, 9, Ezekiel 4, and all these other tabs didn't even expect it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So you got to really be dealing with the Holy Spirit. All praise to you. How about Shimi Rashad?
That's right.
So yeah, that was interesting. I definitely got to look at Ezekiel 5 after this. But anyways, so this is probably gonna be the end of today. Next week, Lord willing, we'll go into part 3. Nonetheless, because we still haven't even done Zechariah 9, Ezekiel 28, and Numbers 24. Because all those give actual time frame and things of that nature. I'm pretty sure there's other prophecies they give time frames. However, those are ones that I know off the top of my head and are astute enough to actually relay the wisdom to other people.
Man, we can go into Revelation 13, Revelation 17. Oh man, it's just all types of stuff that we can go into.
Fact.
Just
And Revelation 18, I think it's 18.
oh yeah. Hey, you haven't seen the Revelation 18 breakdown? Go check that out. Sakari, Philadelphia 144.
That's right. The church of Philippi, man.
And that's right.
All right. So let's start at verse 1.
Yeah, this is the book of Ezekiel, chapter 4, verse 1. It says,
Mhm.
thou also, son of man, take thee a towel. Let me read out my Bible. It's a lot. It's a lot. It's a lot. My eyes getting old, man. Ezekiel 4:1 says,
much,
thou also.
much grief, man.
What you say, y'all?
Much wisdom is much grief.
God. Yeah, it's the book of Ezekiel 4:1. It says, thou also, son of man, take thee a towel and lay it before thee and portray upon it the city, even Jerusalem, and lay siege against it and build a fort against it and cast a mount against it.
Mhm.
Set the camp also against it
Mhm.
and set battering rams against it round about.
Now watch this, right? Before we even get to verse 3, it says, thou also take a tile, right? So take a tile, portray upon it the city, even Jerusalem. So just pretend that this is a tile, because what Ezekiel's doing is something, he's doing something physical, but it's going to be a sign to the house of Israel, meaning it's demonstrating or to show them something that's going to happen. So he has a tile and he builds Jerusalem on it. And now he's laying siege against it. He built a fort against it. He's casting rocks against it, a camp against it, battering rams, kind of like a little G.I. Joe thing you ever used to play with toy soldiers as a kid. All right, if you had a childhood. All right. Now verse 3.
Verse 3
says, bro.
Huh?
I didn't have a childhood, bro.
Why, you didn't fucking, oh, excuse me, you didn't play with toys?
I ain't play with no G.I. Joe.
Nah, I mean like little, you ain't never had little soldiers and nothing like that?
Oh, shoot. Nah, bro.
Anyways, go ahead.
Man, I was learning timetables.
Hey, get out of here, bro.
Hey, man. Not everybody can be as smart as Nachaawam.
It still ain't learning.
Go ahead, Asmawam.
God, this is Ezekiel 4:3. Moreover, take thou unto thee an iron pan.
A what?
An iron pan.
Iron pan. Out of all the metals that could have been chosen.
Exactly.
Iron.
Exactly.
Right? Daniel 2. What the hell was it at?
33.
Verse 33, right? Iron represents the Roman Empire.
Right.
Okay? Keep going.
That's cold. It says, moreover, take thou unto thee an iron pan and set it for a wall of iron between thee and the city.
So this is separating the this from the next thing that Ezekiel is going to do. Right? Go ahead.
It says, and set thy face against it, and it shall be besieged, and thou shalt lay siege against it. This shall be a sign to the house of Israel.
So this whole thing that Ezekiel just got done doing was a sign to the house of Israel. It represented the besieging of the Roman Empire to the city and to the sanctuary, as also prophesied in Daniel the 9th chapter. Now, Ezekiel is probably, I don't want to say for sure, but I'm pretty sure he's contemporary along the lines of the Babylonian captivity with Daniel, not necessarily that not necessarily that they lived around the same time, but as far as the Babylonian captivity, they were both in the midst of it, right? So being with that being said, right, they're prophesying something that's going to happen at least 400 years later from their existence, at least. Okay. So now read verse 4.
Verse 4 it says, lie thou also upon thy left side, and lay the iniquity of the house of Israel upon it. According to the number of the days that thou shalt lie upon it, thou shalt bear their iniquity. For I have laid upon thee the years of their iniquity, according to the number of the days, 390 days. so shalt thou bear the iniquity of the house of Israel.
So bam, 390 days. Keep going.
Says verse 6, and when thou hast accomplished them, lie again on thy right side, and thou shalt bear the iniquity of the house of Judah 40 days.
Mm-hmm.
I have appointed thee each day for a year.
So the Lord let us know, hey, look, guys, all right, so each of these days represents 1 year. So he gave the northern kingdom 390 days. Right? And he gave the southern kingdom 40 days. So that's 390 years and 40 years. Okay, let me make sure that can y'all see the calculator? Okay, beautiful. All praises, right? So we got 390 plus 40. Simple math. That's 430, right? Who knows outside of obviously the 2 people that's on the live with me? Matter of fact, there's only 7 people in here. I ain't got time to do that. Yeah. So bam, we got 430. Now, for those that are not familiar, you got Prince Henry V over the Portuguese Navy, so to speak, or whatever, the military, right? He is the one that started the Atlantic slave trade. Okay, there's a difference between Atlantic versus transatlantic. Okay, the Atlantic slave trade, 1441, off the west coast of Africa. So bam, we add 430, so 1441. If we want to, we can stop there. Why? Because the Puerto Rican man didn't get emancipated until 1873. The so-called black man, the one, in the North America region, got so-called emancipated in 1865. So much like the Roman Jew wars had a middle ground, here is that middle ground for the emancipation of both kingdoms. However, let's get a little bit more technical. There's 360 days in a Hebraic year, right? So we divide 1871 by 360. We get approximately 5, right? We take 1871 back minus 5. It's 1866. Okay? When was the time that the Emancipation Proclamation of North America was completely written and put into fruition, so to speak, for lack of a better term? 1865 to 1866. Here is exactly the hardcore bondage prophesied with a time frame by somebody who lived thousands of years ago. This is really why I got so upset when he said the Bible doesn't provide specific dates. You got to be a dummy. Or, matter of fact, you have to be you have to be an atheist, someone who's a bandit of God. Because you're void of understanding. The wicked shall not understand things like this. Although it might be simple and plain to those who have ears to hear, somebody that don't study at all and simply regurgitate information that they heard from other people, they're not going to be able to do this type of history or research. You cannot plug in this 430 years anywhere to make it contingent upon verses 1 through 3 and then fit it to a people anywhere and make it make sense. If you are somebody that views this video later and you want to try and combat this, please come up with a logical antithesis where you can read verses 1 through 6 and corroborate it with history with such accuracy at that. Okay, and matter of fact, so we're talking about the Emancipation Proclamation, right? What was it that I just was thinking about? Well, matter of fact, I'll just reference it because I think I did it on a previous video about this. But anyways, for those of you that don't know why, what's his damn name? Abraham Lincoln wrote the Emancipation Proclamation. It was simply to free slaves that were outside of the Union, meaning not in Northern Territory. His Emancipation Proclamation only freed slaves that was in Southern Territory. Why would he do that? Because he was losing. So the only thing he could do was to stop the South from any type of materials or anything that they could use to win. That's why he cut off the train transportation. He cut off their ability to continuously trade amongst each other. And last but not least, he cut off one of the strongest warriors that they had, slaves, people that they did not have to pay to do anything, people that they were forcing to do everything that they said. So he wrote a piece of a document and said, you slaves in the South, you're free. The slaves in the Union in the Northern Territory, he didn't free them. Okay, this is something that's easily looked up, okay, which furthers our stance on the 13th Amendment, the fact that they simply did the 13th Amendment so that they can find another reason to enslave us after they created the Union, okay? It's almost been 2 hours already. But like I said, part 3 is going to be done on Sunday, okay? Because there's a plethora of prophecies that I still have yet to want to go into, and it's like the Lord is making me save Numbers 24 for a particular reason. Because like I've said, let me show you guys something. I've never seen anybody go into the end of Numbers 24. Everybody knows Numbers 24 verse 17 to about 20, right? Where it's talking about Yahweh killing the nations, etc. But 21 to 25 or 21 to 24, nobody speaks about these. They are literally going into the Assyrian captivity and the Roman and Greeks. How I need somebody to properly explain how the hell this goddamn Moabite named Balaam knew about anything the Assyrians or the Romans and the Grecians literally thousands of years before they were even anything prominent in the earth. But this guy knew about it, right? And he was a damn heathen. All right.
I got a quick precept if you want.
Con, what you got?
Yeah, so like going back to that ignorant statement that I don't know, you said that I was a Christian that said it, that God doesn't deal with dates. You know what I'm saying? He's not about numbers. Like, I don't see how anybody can have that type of mindset when it comes to the Bible, because all through the scriptures is all about how God gives particular kingdoms a specific time to rule. And I just got a quick precept right here in Job 14:5 says, seeing his days are determined. This is speaking about nations when you look at it in a national sense, right? And you can back it up with Daniel 5:25, talking about how he's numbered Babylon's kingdom, right? But this Job 14:5, seeing his days are determined, the number of his months are with thee. So the Most High God, he operates in dates, in months, right? He says, thou hast appointed his bounds that he cannot pass. So I'm saying everybody got their own little allotted amount of time to do their thing that God has granted unto them. You know what I'm saying? But it's just an ignorant statement, you know what I'm saying, to say that.
Wow. Look at the NLT. This is so crazy. It says, you have decided the length of our lives. You know how many months we will live, and we are not given a minute longer. So if the Lord says that a particular kingdom is only going to rule for a certain amount of time, they're only going to rule for that certain amount of time. And even in Revelation, it's either Revelation or Daniel 7. We're going to get to it in the future. But where it says that a particular kingdom will only reign for a short amount of time, talking about the UK, bro, they reign for maybe 100 years. And then out comes America. What book do you know can talk about things like this in such detail? And another thing he said which was outrageous. He says, well, the prophecies in the Bible are vague. And then Deacon mentions the fact that Cyrus is named by Isaiah. And even atheist scholars agree that he didn't live until about, I want to say the 7th or 8th century, right? Roughly, because he was contemporary with Syria. But anyways, how is it that Isaiah knew Cyrus by name, bro?
Right.
Come on. Like, but
yeah. And also just a quick one, right? Anybody can look this up, right? The Byzantine Empire, when the western half of it fell, right, the eastern half continued on, and that was for a little bit over 1,000 years. And where is that documented? That's documented in the book of Revelation, the 20th chapter, right? And it literally says 1,000 years. And when you go ahead and look it up, when the Byzantine Empire ruled, it literally said for 1,000 more years, the eastern half of the Roman Empire.
You talking about Septimius?
Yep. When so-called when the Israelites were ruling the Roman Empire. Yep.
And see, people think that old serpent, the devil, right, is talking about the serpent back in the garden, right? But no, it's talking about us chasing the so-called white man into the caves known as the Caucasus Mountains, okay, and taking over for 1,000 years.
Yeah, we did that. Right? Because the so-called blacks did rule Europe. If you want any more information on that, check out my video, how the Sicilians, right, are Israelites, right?
All right, and being that we only got a few people in here, I'm saying, I'll give you guys a minute and a half to see if you guys have questions. If not, we getting the hell up out of here. All right. A minute and a half. So if you got questions, they better be good questions too.
Right.
Is that the dark Sayon asked, is that the dark ages? Yes.
That's right, brother. That's the dark ages. The dark ages, then they call it the Middle Ages.
Right.
Right. When we were taught that these different kings of Europe, like Richard the Lionheart, right? We were taught that he was a so-called white man, King James, and his son was a white man. Constantine and his sons was white men. They were so-called black men. Just a sidebar, some last names that you so-called Negroes have, y'all had them when y'all was in Europe. Just a sidebar. So not every last name is the slave master last name.
You guys gotta let Levi remember y'all. If it ain't a Levite, don't ask him about the law. Please. You'll fail. Trust me. Like, that's personal experience. Some nigga tried to tell me because Genesis 49 says that Judah's the lawgiver that Levites are never supposed to do. I said, look, you clearly don't understand what's going on.
Listen, man.
And Judites, you.
Hey, I just literally like this morning. I had a question concerning the law. I hit up Nachaawam, man. You know,
Yeah.
I ain't shit.
That is so funny because
I mean, look, this triumvirate right here is Joshua, Caleb, and Moses, man. No, we don't think that we are those people. Let me say that real quick. No, we don't think that we're those people. No, we don't.
Somebody gonna take that.
And they're gonna soundbite it real smooth, like.
And bro, when we was reading Ezekiel 4 just now, when it talks about how what was gonna happen to the northern kingdom, to Israel, and then what's gonna happen to Judah. I don't know, bro. It was just like real spiritual to me when we was reading, because like, dang, man, we got Israel right here and we got Judah. You know what I'm saying? And here we are in the last days, calling these curses to mind with each other, man. It's like, hey,
that's right. And notice that the bridge between both kingdoms is loyal. If you notice, Haitians can be referred to as so-called blacks or Latinos, right? Because they have a Latin American heritage as well.
Oh, that's true. Thanks.
Yeah, but you know what, brother? We're Canaanites and you're a Mongoloid.
Well, no. Remember that one guy I was dealing with? He said that the Aztecs and the Mayans are Egyptians.
Oh yeah, right.
But they have no ties as far as their own historical records of where they go back to, as far as Egypt. Their creation story isn't anywhere parallel to the Kemet creation story. But you know, what do we know, right?
Why would Christ manifest himself to a bunch of Egyptians?
Well, you asked the person that question. It's because he wants to save everybody.
Right.
But you know, since nobody else has any more questions, all right, we're gonna say call Allah Yahweh Shema Mashiach Yawasap. It's all praises to the Most High God and the name of His only begotten Son, who the world ignorantly, and I emphasize ignorantly, calls Jesus Christ. With that, we say Shalom.
Shalom.